My 10-year-old son is having tantrums and outbursts at school. They are out of the blue, and when it's not happening, he's easygoing, according to the teacher. I was in the classroom for a party last week, and there was a game going on that he was doing poorly at. I could tell he was getting frustrated even though he was trying to have fun. I wasn't totally surprised when he blew up, but I didn't know what to do or when to do anything. So I have spoken with this mom about this incident, and one of the things that I discovered in this was that she sees it at home. When he is getting close to blowing up, she can see it coming. She didn't realize that she could, and you all can. You can see it about to happen. You know the precursors. And if you're not sure about your child and what the precursors are to becoming so overstimulated that they can't function, start to keep a diary. Every time something happens, instead of getting all involved with the child, sit down with your notebook and write out everything that happened in the 20 minutes prior, but also generally in the day prior, including food and sleep, social interactions, anything that might be causing your child to become overstimulated or to have fewer resources to deal. So classroom parties, they can be very difficult. And I commend this mom for seeing that it was happening. At the same time, she was ambivalent, as we all are, I think, sometimes, about really stopping what seems like it could be fun. But parents, I want to tell you this and teach your children this. How do children learn? By watching us, okay? So learn to recognize the signs of when things aren't feeling good and train your child. Sometimes it's enough to say it out loud. And that's a good place to start, to say, I'm noticing that things are starting to feel pressured. It's feeling tight. We can look at the somatic ways that we feel, how it exists in your body when you're starting to feel overwhelmed, and help the child identify those things. It might not be their thoughts. It might not be their feelings. But how about this one? Sometimes your clothes just start to feel too tight, or the temperature, all of a sudden it's getting warm, or you feel really mad at some little thing that someone did. I like to teach children, even 10's pretty capable. I like to teach children this age to notice the difference between what's going on around them and how they're reacting to it. Say on a scale of 1 to 10, this is from couples work, right? So sometimes somebody might say something that's sort of provocative at the level of a 2 or 3, but the partner might have a response at the level of, oh, I don't know, 8 or 10. And when that happens, there's a mismatch. And one of the things that we can do is really look and notice how the people around the child are responding and reacting. Remember this, the highly sensitive children are the canaries. What's good for them is good for everybody. And when my child was 2 years old in preschool, when he started screaming at the top of his lungs in the middle of the preschool, the teacher knew that the whole classroom was going to start becoming out of control because the play had gotten a little too wild. She learned for her own sanity to prevent it by removing my son from the playroom and asking him to help her in the kitchen where it was quiet and apart from the rest of the children. So this is what we want to teach our children to do for themselves. We want to teach their teachers to do it for them. So let's really get out there and educate these kids and the people in charge of them to recognize overstimulation. Once it's happened, the best thing to do is to give them a place for a timeout, which is really just a place to cool down, not alone, but with someone who can support them unless they specifically request to be alone.